is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of the Belle Collective. I know it's late, but let's get into it. So we got Latrice. She's headed over to Taste to hang out with a few of her girls, but Selena will not be able to make it. She's at the hospital getting ready for Sky to deliver her brand new grandbaby. Marie is also one of the girls, which is like, oh my gosh, shocker. Hell has frozen over that Marie was casually invited to, one, be invited to Taste, and also to hang out with Latrice. And just have a little small talk. Latrice is noticing how happy Marie is, and it's like, girl, why are you so happy? It's because she's with her new man, and that is Cedric. But you know what? Latrice said in her confessional that Marie and Cedric's relationship has always been weird to her, but it's like, girl, you like it, I love it. Amanda came by. She's also a part of this hangout. And Marie was distracted by Amanda's outfit. I had to take a double look. I didn't know what the hell she had on. And when Marie called it a Beetlejuice shirt, I was over it because that's all I saw. Because Amanda had on this sleeveless button-up collared blouse where it had two sets of collars on it. One where Amanda's head was, and the other one was across her shoulder. So it was very distracting, and I was wondering if she put the shirt on backwards because it was so out of place. It was so like wonky. But Amanda didn't even allow for appetizers or cocktails to be presented when she immediately got into the shit and says, listen, I never thought I'd see the day that Marie and Latrice would hang out because I didn't like the way y'all treated my friend at the last reunion. Now Marie's looking lost about, what do you mean? How did we treat her? What reunion? The second to last one where you and Letitia were calling out Latrice. Letitia was standing over Latrice in this god-awful I Dream of Jeannie ponytail, calling her an insecure bitch. You getting held back by security trying to fight her backstage. But Marie didn't fight it. She did not get angry. She just said, listen, all I know is I do believe that Letitia and Latrice have a very good relationship. I believe there's an equal amount of love towards one another. It's not one-sided. Okay. So Latrice feels so uncomfortable being in this position of finding out that Glenn was in Amanda's DMs and knowing that her relationship with Letitia have been up and down, but Amanda is her ride or die. She has loyalty to both of these ladies and she don't like being in this situation. So then she talks about having a pool party. This is a couples only event. And if you don't have a significant other, you cannot come. But she says in her confessional, she's not going to invite Tambra because she's not sure if Damon will be able to get off work or he'll be at home watching the baby. Now, these are not good enough excuses to me. At first, I was like, why are you automatically giving Tambra a way out to not come to a cast event? Because she's a part of the show. She should show up to these types of events. But then again, I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad at Tambra for keeping her relationship with Damon only to her and to him, not having her relationship problems be presented in front of the group, because we all know how that happened the last couple of seasons where her relationship was the main topic of conversation. But then again, I'm back to how I felt my last review. I want Tambra to show up. You are a part of this show. You're fading into the background and you're not giving us your life. If you're not going to give us your life, you're not going to give us what's going on in your relationship, then don't be on this show. I'm conflicted, as you can see. So then a little talk about Amanda's divorce and how she's ready to get back into the dating scene. Marie wants to know whether or not she'll date a man or a woman. She said, I don't know, but I'm open to either or. Moving on from there, we got Carrie. Carrie invited Letitia and Marie to a dance class. Now, when Letitia pulls up, she calls Glenn to tell him what's going on and how she is super happy that he is home more. She's able to talk to him throughout the day, hang out with him, and it's like, girl, please, you just want to make sure that he's not doing nothing that you know he's not supposed to be doing. You checking in on him. You're not talking to him just to say, hey, babe, how you doing? No, you want to know what it is he doing? Where is he? Okay? So it was a nice class, and Carrie said she was being a bigger person by inviting Marie because she do want to get to know the ladies. And Marie even felt like her little tiff with Carrie was not that big of a deal. The shade she threw was not that deep. And she likes Carrie. She said Carrie is a firecracker. She says what she says. Okay, that is new. That Marie is not fighting Carrie every time she sees her, but that doesn't take away the fact that Marie still wants to get her get back as to what is going on in Carrie's life, because she didn't like that Carrie had a lot of opinions about her situation. Again, Marie, your situation was put front and center, and everybody had opinions about it. Again, like I said, blame Letitia, because Letitia brought Carrie right along into the mess and told her everything about what you had going on. But of course, you know, she asked her, what's going on with you? What you got going on? And Carrie said, listen, I mean, just juggling all these businesses. And you know, she mentions how busy she is and how she doesn't like to take her work home, but also she is not that typical Southern woman. She's not doting. You know, I'm not all that cater to you. I'm not that rub your feet. That's just not me. Letitia gave her 2 cents about how that's how Glenn wanted her to be in the beginning. That traditional Southern wife who was quiet, who never told her how she felt, blah, blah, blah. But we're in different times now. And Carrie is really getting to know these ladies. She's liking what she's hearing. She is happy that they're able to have natural conversations about what we got going on at our husbands and our businesses. Cool, happy, moving on. We continue. So we learned more about Carrie in this scene. You know, she was heading over to one of her restaurants, one of 3 that she owns, Brick and Spoon. And she also is a social media content creator. And she was everywhere. She was overseeing the menus, making sure they were presented well, and in the kitchen, making sure that the orders were going out on time. And the kitchen manager was already one step ahead of Carrie. Before Carrie even asked what was going on, the kitchen manager had already had it done. And she was telling her, girl, don't come over here hovering over me. We got this. Go ahead and go. Go, go, go. And Carrie likes being in this industry field because she wants to show women you can be successful. And she's always been in the hospitality field. And she's been told that she's had a gift of knowing what the people want. So she had a meeting with her staff to prepare for the grand opening of her new location in Mobile, Alabama. Everything is prepared. Everything is ready to go. So then we see her husband, Matt. He comes by and we find out about their story. They have been together since they were 16. They are high school sweethearts. They've been married for over 15 years. And then we also talk about Matt's profession. He has been in the MLB for almost 20 years. Half of that being a player, and the rest of it is him being a sports agent, representing up-and-coming athletes coming into this field. I find super dope. Just seeing how Carrie and Matt both had dreams of becoming successful and they're living that dream. I love to see it. There also is parents to a set of twins and a younger daughter. And they've had a lot on their plates, but he also wants Carrie to balance on being a business owner and a wife and a mother. And she said, it's been tough because, you know, I check in on you, but I don't check in on you like I need to. And he also lets her know that she doesn't pay attention to what goes on in the household because he does about 80% of the household work. And he would like for her to be present. He would like for her to put some effort. And she's trying. You know, she got emotional because this is something that she's been really trying to do better at. And this is a reoccurring conversation they've had before. And she's telling him, listen, there's only so much time in the day, but I am trying. In her confessional, she talks about that she loves her husband. She appreciates him, but she has taken him for granted. And she got to work on letting him know about how much she appreciates him and got to put effort into showing up in that way. And so she's telling him, you know, I got your back. He said, I do trust you. Okay. And then they talk about Selena's all-white affair and how they can release some type of tension they've had about dealing with some grief. And I do appreciate this scene with Carrie and her husband, because I do believe that when you have a partner that you can trust, that can handle the children, that can handle the house without you having to ask that person, it can give you that sense of freedom that you can just put all your focus in on the business and not have to worry about other stuff. And yes, Carrie is trying to be mindful. She is trying to be fair when it comes to not only leaving Matt with that responsibility. And this is also, I guess, the curse when it comes to being with a woman who's successful, when it comes to being with a woman who has a lot on her plate, that she's trying to put all of her attention onto one thing and not neglect anything else. And I think that's where the lack of grace is not being given to women in that way. Because then we're going to find out in this next episode that while she's trying, he's not going to pull away. After you've been begging for her to be more present, now you're pulling away. You trying to punish her for not doing it when you said it. Like, what's up with that? I don't know when we get to that scene between Carrie and Matt, when she's like, I ain't seen you, I ain't heard from you, like, where you been? I just want to know, if y'all are really having these types of problems, let it be real. Don't let it be something made up for the show. But I enjoyed this scene. This was nice. And then we're moving on. We got Letitia and Glenn with this stupid ass exercise for Selena and Mike, because y'all really want to sell that Letitia and Glenn are God's answers to having a successful marriage, as if we're only supposed to go to Letitia and Glenn for marital advice. No, we should never go to them for marital advice. I'm still not agreeing with Selena for asking her for marital advice. So I was not even here for any of the exercises that they were doing. The only thing that I am interested in was when Selena and Mike had a face-to-face, when she's talking about having a hard time talking to him because she's had an emotional attachment that ended up growing because it reflects on how she lost her son. She tells us the story that she spoke to her son that night when he was coming back to Jackson to celebrate his 30th birthday, and he never made it. So now there's been 5 years since she lost her son. That fear of not having to be able to talk to him after that is what she's doing with Mike. Since Mike doesn't answer the phone, Mike doesn't tell her what he got going on, she is thinking all the worst possible fears when she can never get in touch with him, when he never tells her anything. So she's not trying to call to bug him. She's not trying to call just to get on his nerve. She's calling him to make sure that he's safe, calling him to make sure you're good. So she's not playing. She was crying, and I don't know. It could have been a breakthrough for her to finally express on what she hasn't been able to talk about. But for me, Mike didn't look like he was listening. He looked like he was high. He was looking like he was ready for the scene to be over. I hope he heard it and maybe have a hard time expressing it through his emotions on his face. But I understood what Selena was feeling, because that was a traumatic experience that she went through. The last time she spoke to her son, and she'll never be able to talk to him again, and you not answering the phone, that can cause a lot of worry. But she thanks Letitia and Glenn for having this event. It brought us some things she didn't know that was lingering inside of her, and lets them know about her all-white event. And yes, in a relationship, you have to have tough conversations. You have to break through those walls. Moving on. Now we got Selena and her all-white event. It was an honor of her son. She worked really hard to put this event together. She even had a panel of women who have lost their loved ones, like children, their mothers. Latrice was also a panelist because she lost her brothers. And we know that Latrice doesn't like to talk about the loss of her brothers. So when we saw all of the ladies arriving, Marie had on this glitter blazer. She looked cute. Cedric looked cute. And Latrice looked great. I didn't like Cliff's outfit. I don't know why he's wearing jeans. So while they're mingling, Latrice is very happy to be there to support Selena. And they have both connected on how they've lost a lot of important members in their family. Then they also noticed a wedding ring on Marie's finger. And it was her wedding ring to Cedric, but it wasn't on her ring finger. It was on her middle finger, talking about he might move it over one day. Girl, whatever. Glenn arrives late. Why? Don't know. And just seeing Glenn doting on Letitia, kissing her and everything, Latrice is so uncomfortable because she just cannot imagine that the man that's standing right in front of her, showcasing how much love he has for his wife, is doing some underhanded shit on the low with another woman. Welcome to the world of men, Latrice. We don't understand that either. How a man could be so good in person, he could be so good on paper. How a man could look so good in front of you that he's doing everything right. You will never guess he'll ever do some underhanded shit. You will never guess he'll be on some fugazi shit until some shit happens. So the event gets starting. It was a very emotional event for me. I started crying because I've lost family members recently. I lost my grandfather earlier this year. And then just a couple of years ago, my husband lost his maternal grandmother. It's been a lot of loss on both parts of our families. And, Selena was just expressing how hurt she was, how angry she was that she lost her child. And she never talks about it. And she finds it's very therapeutic to let it out, because you can connect to somebody else who feels the exact same way as you do. And there was a psychiatrist on stage, which was a very good idea, because when you do lose somebody, you feel like you have no reason to live. You feel like you don't want to do nothing, you don't want to go nowhere, but that person would not want you to stay stuck. They would want you to still go out, grow, explore. Make sure you have something to live for every single day. Then we get to Latrice's story about how she lost her brothers, and she's never talked about this before. Her mom left her dad because he was a drug addict. So her brothers were the main ones who raised her. When her first brother was unalived, that hurt her. Then when her second brother was unalived, he was the closest to her, and that really shocked her. She had a dream believing that he died, and she called him and it's like, brother, you good? He was like, yes, sis, I'm good. What's up? I had a dream that you weren't even here. He said, no, I'm straight. But then again, that dream ended up becoming a nightmare, because we found out that he ended up dying that same day. I would not be able to deal that I spoke to my brother. I had a dream that he wasn't here. And then later in the day, he ended up not being here. And then also Latrice lost a nephew last year. That got to be hard to deal with, really hard. So she said she lost a part of her soul when she lost her brothers. And Carrie was emotional as well, because hearing the loss and the pain that Latrice had experienced, never knew that she was going through all of this. And it brought some recurring feelings from Carrie, because she's lost people between her and her husband. And the most recent loss was her husband's father, which has been very, very hard on them. And you know, how she talks about how she deals with that trauma. You know, she believes that any man that comes into her life will eventually leave her. That's why she's so deeply attached to Cliff. That's why she blows him up. She wants to know where he's at. It's not about whether or not he's with a woman. It's about making sure that he's safe, making sure that he's good. But then again, we know that later in the season, she's going to pop up at the condo above the restaurant. I feel like sometimes when you go through traumatic experiences and you want to make sure that your loved one, your spouse, your partner is respecting how it makes you feel, it could also be a tactic or a tool to control your partner, because you want to make sure that they are everywhere, that you know where they are. Your sight is always on them. You don't trust whatever they're doing without you knowing about it. And of course, Cliff, you can never understand him. He speaks in gibberish. But he didn't think of it like that. Even though he's known Latrice for a very long time, he never thought that it's because she was concerned about his safety and not about him sleeping with other women or hanging out with other women. It wasn't about that. So Latrice appreciates being a part of the panel because she doesn't talk about it very often. But she needs to learn how to cope, learn how to live with it. And it is therapeutic to know that you're not alone when it comes to figuring out how you're going to learn how to live your life without your favorite people being there, but they have always been there. So the guests all congrats Selena on this beautiful event. Tambra was even proud of her because she remembers how Selena was when she lost her son. She wasn't eating, she wasn't sleeping, she had bad anxiety. So this was a good healing moment for both her and Latrice. Then they did do a balloon release where they write down all their loved ones and how they missed them. And it was a gorgeous, beautiful scene. I would say that was my favorite scene of this episode. And moving on from there, I was just crying. I did not expect to cry as much as I did. And I was bawling when I saw that. I was like, dang, y'all got me in my feelings today. Why? But we end things with Latrice's pool party. I love how everything's all set up and decorated. The food looks amazing. I love Latrice's crochet beach dress. But Latrice, this is where people are going to say you had something to do with it, because you oversaw the games that you wanted your guests to play. And there was a couples game about how who knows their spouse the most, right? Whenever you play those kind of games in a group of people, be prepared for some shit to go down, all right? And everybody's dressed up in their beach attire. Selena was giving me all body, okay? Her ass was assing. Damn, Selena is so thick. And Amanda brought her stud to the event, Jovan. And Latrice, she's so nervous. Like, she is hesitant for Letitia and Amanda to be in the same space because she's hopeful that this information doesn't come out. When you say that, Latrice, that means you know that they were going to come up with a way for this information to come out. Amanda talked about it on camera, so production was going to set up for it to be revealed on camera. Okay, whether or not it was your event or nobody else or anybody else's event, this type of information was going to be out. And how she doesn't want to repeat about what happened at her last event. You mean where you don't want to hold your husband and Glenn accountable for the shit they pulled that you blamed Akeisha and Willie for? That? Okay. So, Marie and Cedric arrived, and this is the first time Marie has ever seen Latrice's house, which is a first for everything. First is taste, now it's her home. And then we also find out that Amanda's date, Jovan, is Marie's cousin. I was like, dang, that's a small world. Then S with the mess came, and we saw Essie's husband. We have never seen Essie's husband. And I'm Selena. Girl, I never met your husband before. And Amanda killed me when she said, I thought Marie was the husband. And, oh my God. Marie was like, Latrice, I don't want to be disrespectful to your house, but your girl over here is speaking reckless. I don't like it. Because she defended herself by saying, that is not my wife. I'm not with Essie. I'm with Cedric. She got her husband. I got my man. I was like, oh, Marie, stop. Where is everybody else? Meaning the Pearsons, they have finally arrived. They ride late as hell. It is pitch black. Now, her reason was Glenn got off work late and then they had traffic. Okay. And what made it even worse, though, when the cameras caught Glenn and Amanda at any separate time together, Amanda looked uncomfortable. She did not like Glenn, and she is ready for this shit to come out. So then they play the couples games, where it's all about where's the craziest place you've had sex, what's your favorite sexual position. Glenn wanted everybody to speak their answer. Marie and Cedric had the same answer. They had sex driving down the highway under the speed limit. Don't want to know. Amanda said balcony. Glenn said washing machine, spin cycle. Okay. Selena said Puerto Rico on the beach. And then Matt said at Carrie's house in her parents' bed. I was like, hold the fuck up. Girl, now it's one thing to have sex in your parents' house, but in your parents' bed where they might have been having sex, girl, I hope you told your parents to wash their sheets. And then she said, oh, mom and dad, please forgive me. Oh, I cannot. That is the ultimate disrespect. I cannot. No. No. So then we get to what is your spouse's sexual position? We heard missionary. Glancing from the side. And when the cameras panned to Amanda's face and she was like, this nigga lying. I couldn't do it. I said, this is messy as fuck. Like, she is all in on Glenn's shit. And she's like, this nigga is fucking capping. He's lying through his teeth. I was screaming. So then the next question was, has anybody ever been attracted to anybody else in this group? Who writes that as a question? That was weird. So Carrie thought, listen, let's everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nobody. But then Amanda calls out Glenn and said he lying. And they were like, what? Because Glenn said, I'm only attracted to my wife. Now, Maddie not holding back on calling out Glenn, and I'm not mad about it. But Letitia, she wasn't ready for that. Nah. She was on go. She said, ho. You got something to tell me? No. If you got something to tell me, because I fuck with you. You know, you cool and all. What's up? Marie's trying to keep this shit going. Because she's like, you've ever been attracted to Mandy? Glenn. Have you ever been attracted to her? Now, Latrice is trying to hurry up and move things along by saying, next question. Amanda don't give a fuck. She said, you want to have a conversation? Because we can. Anywhere. Outside, inside. It don't matter to me. So, Amanda takes Letitia outside. And Amanda said, listen, there are times where I fuck with you and I respect you. But I have been awkward around you. Because I don't like the way you've been treating my friend. Now, Letitia was quick to defend by saying we both did some shit to each other. But what's going on? So what I didn't like about Mandy, this part was when she wanted to cover up by saying, I fuck with you. I respect you. No, you don't, Amanda. You've been saying it all this time. First episode, you're not sure you can trust Letitia because she's sneaky. And then your interview, you talked about all types of underhanded things that Letitia does. So you don't respect her. You don't fuck with her. So I wish you would have stood in your energy about not really liking her and not really giving a fuck about how this makes her feel with information you are already ready to expose. So back inside the house, Jovan, Amanda's date, says she's seen the DM and Glenn is capping. I was like, ooh. She said, listen, I'm clear, sir. I ain't got to defend myself against you. I'm just telling you what I saw and you lying. So then Glenn jumps up, acts as if he's about to approach Jovan on some man-to-man shit, knowing that she's a woman. Yes, she's a stud. She's masculine presenting, but she's not trying to have a dick swinging contest with you like what Glenn likes to do. And it's so crazy how Glenn has all of this energy for a woman, but he had none of this energy for Willie when Willie was close to tackling his ass last season. Remember how Willie was super close into reaching for Glenn, and they had to make sure Glenn was carried all the way back to the other side of the restaurant before he got his ass beat. So while trying to get some type of confirmation from Amanda, Marie came outside and told Letitia, you got to get Glenn. No, because Glenn's about to go and talk to Jovan about finding out that Glenn was texting Amanda. And when they walked in, Letitia said, who knew? I was like, did she say who knew? What you mean who knew? See, that lets me know, Letitia, you were already aware of this type of situation and you were already ready for this information to be out, but you didn't expect for nobody else to know, which means production had a hand in it, and production was not about to protect you or Glenn in this moment because Amanda talked about it on the show and it was about to be revealed on the show. So you were not about to control how you wanted this information to be out to protect you and Glenn, when this ain't about protecting you and Glenn. It's about exposing what you and Glenn got going on. And when they walk in the house, we hear all the cussing, all the yelling, but we can't see anything. And it's a to be continued. So my thing about it is, though, Glenn, why are you confronting Jovan about what you did when you're the one that's in the wrong? And listen, a lot of people play a part in this, right? Glenn, you was wrong for texting Amanda while being a married man. Amanda, while you were in a separation from your ex-wife, you still was wrong for engaging Glenn. But if you want to do some give back for Letitia, just say that. I ain't got nothing against it, because this entire setup, I have nothing to say about it. I am not mad at you setting up Letitia, because Letitia has not gotten her just desserts, her repercussions for setting up other people. She was not called out like she should have been called out when she wanted to set up Tambra with her decorator friend Taisha. Remember how she wanted to make it so obviously known that Taisha had something going on with Greedy so Tambra can know about it? Fucked up. Then we get to another season when Marie and Letitia sat down with Tambra's stalker to get information. Fucked up. And then just last season, Akeisha reveals that Letitia and Glenn were about to set up Willie to have a woman creep up in his DMs. So yeah, Letitia, you've been doing this shit to other people, and this is your turn. You cannot say, why y'all do doing this to me? Yeah, that little statement that Letitia put out after the episode aired about how I'm tired of everybody using my pain against me. It's being weaponized. It's carrying my castmates, all the snakes. I'm just like, girl, please. I don't have no sympathy for Letitia. I don't. By no means. Because she needs to know what it feels like when somebody actually comes after her and tells her shit she already know. And this is another thing. Letitia cannot act shocked and surprised about what she finds out about Glenn when she already has done this before with Glenn. Remember, you sat on the reunion couch waiting for paternity results. Make it make sense. So, Miss Me, and I know this upcoming episode, she gonna be crying about, leave me the fuck alone. I just want everybody to leave me alone. I'm like, girl. And watch when she gonna put all that energy on Amanda and Latrice and none for her nigga. Watch. And I don't have no sympathy for her. I have no emotion for her whatsoever, because you been knew about this nigga from the beginning. Good. You know what? I'm done. That's it. That's it. I don't have nothing else. I'm just excited for this upcoming episode. I just cannot wait to see how Letitia is going to act in this. And if she doesn't give the right energy to the person who put her in the situation, I'm not going to be here for it. I'm not. But y'all, that's it. That's it. That's all I have. Please stay, please stay tuned for my next review, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.